I sold my only luxury watch to pay rent. I never imagined what I'd get in return. Sometimes, life takes everything from you, just to give you back something greater, and in my case, it all started with a single watch, and a moment of desperation in Paris, the city of lights, art, and dreams, but dreams cost money, and for months, I was surviving on hope and cheap coffee. My photography wasn't paying enough. Rent was overdue. My phone buzzed with reminders I couldn't answer. I had only one thing left that had any value, a silver watch. My father's gift. The only piece of home I had left. That night, I stared at it for hours, the ticking sound echoing louder than my thoughts. Selling it felt like giving up a part of myself, but I had no choice, so I walked into a small antique shop near Rue de Rivoli, and handed over the watch. The man counted a few €100, placed it in my hand, and said, "Time always comes back to those who respect it." I didn't understand what he meant, not then. Weeks passed. I was working odd photography gigs, weddings, street portraits, even food menus. I was surviving, but barely. Then, one evening, I got a call from an unknown number. "Bonjour, is this the photographer who sold the watch?" The voice was calm, older, confident. He introduced himself as Henri, an art collector. He said, "I bought your watch from a dealer." There was something about it. I could feel a story inside. I laughed nervously, thinking it was a joke. But then he said, "Would you come to my gallery tomorrow? I have an offer for you." Something about his tone felt different, almost like fate was calling. The next morning, I arrived at his private gallery in Le Marais. The walls were lined with vintage art, gold frames, soft light, the kind of place that smells like stories. Henri greeted me warmly. He held the watch in his hand and said, "This watch, it carries your energy. You've captured time through your lens, haven't you?" I nodded. He smiled. Then he said something that changed everything. "I'm starting a luxury campaign, photography that captures emotion, not just beauty. I think you're the one I've been looking for." I didn't know whether to laugh or cry. The same watch I sold to survive had somehow brought me to the door of my biggest opportunity. That campaign became the foundation of my career. My photos were featured across Europe, in magazines, luxury stores, and art shows. I started traveling again. Living again, but the biggest change wasn't in my career, it was in how I saw value. I realized that everything you lose, every heartbreak, every sacrifice, it all teaches you something time itself cannot. When Henri handed the watch back to me months later, he said, "It was never about the watch. It was about your story. I just helped you find it. Now, I wear a new watch. It's beautiful, elegant, but I never look at it just to check the time. I look at it to remind myself that sometimes, you have to lose what you love." Subscribe.